So this is a 16-foot 6 black spruce. It's about 16 inches on the other end. I thought it was 18, but it's about closer to 16 and a half. By the time I get it squared up, I mean on that end I'll probably have 13. I'm looking for 12-inch pieces, so I might trim it down a bit. It tapers up quite a bit, so I'm going to lose a fair amount of slabs. I got some nice logs here though, some nice spruce, but this one here is going to go to paneling. I know a lot of guys would turn this into 2x6 and 2x12s and 2x10s and all kinds of things, and I must say I'm very tempted to do that. I've been thinking about this for days, what's the right thing to do with this log, and I have either to turn this into paneling and boards or buy plywood or aspenite. Now I don't want to buy aspenite because I just absolutely hate it, and drywall's a total pain in my behind. So I have some walls to finish in the bathroom, and one wall is already wood and one wall is drywall. So what I'm thinking about doing is just finishing the back wall, the long wall. If I use this here and I put, say, half-inch boards and I plane it down to 7/16, so just get a smooth side, or and double edge and put it up. This will do the wall very quickly. The wall is 14 and a half foot long, and this is 16 and a half foot long, so I'll have some cutoffs, but it'll do the wall bang, bang, bang up in one shot. I can paint it. I don't have to do any plastering or putty or any of that crap, taping. And I still got to paint it, so I'll probably just still end up painting it, but yeah, so I think that's what I'm doing. There should be enough here to do that, and part of another project I need done where I have a wood shed, and instead of filling it all with wood, I'm going to take one corner of it and turn into I need another storage area because I lost my storage sheds last year in the fall, in the flood, and I don't have time to build them now. We're September here in a couple of days, and I'm just running out of time. So I got two hands, and in another month or two, snow will be on the ground, and I'll be stopped all this nonsense. Because I don't work out here in the rain and the snow. I'm pretty much made of sugar these days. So I think I'm going to turn this all into boards and see what we can, see if we can't get a bunch of stuff buttoned up real fast in the house. It'll make wifey happy. I'll be happy I don't have the plaster because I just hate plaster and drywall, sanding it. And it should go very quickly. And I mean, boards, it'll be a good value for this because boards are way more expensive to buy right now than 2x6s or 2x12s. Boards right now are ridiculous here in Eastern Canada. So if I need any 2x6s or 2x12s, I have lots here to get that out of. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I think I finished the time lapse here. I went and had a bite of lunch, but I guess I must have because I didn't put this away. I'm running out of space bad. This wood is fairly dry. It was cut a year or so ago, so I should be able to run it through a planer this afternoon or tomorrow. Just let the water dry off of it. It's about 20% what I've been measuring. The center, actually the bottom of the log where it was sitting on the ground is a little wetter, but the rest of it is running about 20%, 22%, in around there. Uh, I cut a couple of spots with no water so I could measure it, because when you use the water from the sawmill, it really messes up the meter. And as you can see, I'm running out of space to lay them down to dry. My yard is packed, and the firewood is not supposed to be there. Normally I would stack lumber over there, but this is not going to be here long enough for that. This is going through a planer. It's going to be lapped. This is going to be lapped boards for interior use, and and it's going to be painted. So, and even if it's not dry, and I'm going to put a big enough lap on it that if it shrinks a bit, it's not the end of the world for my needs. It'll actually might add some character, and I won't care at all. The only person who might care is wifey, and once I get it up installed and painted, she's generally pretty happy. The plan is not to tell her the plan, because then she wants to change the plan. So the thinner boards here, and you'll see that when I was sawing that some of them were 1/2 inch and kind of offcuts and all that. That's just going to board up the inside of a woodshed I got, where I need to put a little storage area. So I cut a few boards 1/2 inch, and there's one 1-inch board I have a use for that. The rest are 3/4, going to be planed down to about 5/8 and put against the wall in a laundry room and a utility room. In the laundry room and bathroom and the utility room are kind of one divided area. And so a lot of the bigger slabs go to firewood, which I have to get processed and get in the woodshed as soon as possible. And you see me throwing the fletching of that down over the side because I can't get anybody to take it away. It's no good for me for kindling. I don't need this much kindling. So as soon as the burn ban's off, we have a little fire here, and it just burns in by the bank. And even if I wait till there's a little bit of snow, and I'll burn it. And I've already had 3 or 4 fires here this year, like after a rain when the burn ban's off. $25,000 fine right now to burn with the burn ban on, so that's not going to happen. We won't be doing that. And so I got a couple of piles here, and I can put another pile there. Some of these trees got to come down here. But so that's what I'm doing with that, because I usually try and save this fletching and sell it and bundle it and all that. And I know those guys make a good living at that, but I couldn't be bothered. It takes too much time for the amount of money, and it's just easier to burn it. And wifey and I come up and with 1 or 2 of the dogs and enjoy the fire in the evening, and we get more use out of it that way. So that's it for the video for processing that log. Oh, by the way, there was 200, I calculated 213.5 board feet at the exact measurements that I cut it. These are 12 inches by 3/4. I mean, they're going to be planed. And I got, these are 8 and 10 inches, the 1/2 inch, because they had a bit of bark on them. I expected to, to get that bit of bark when you're downsizing the log. And of course, there's one 1-inch board, because I don't know about anybody else's bandsaw mills, but almost every bandsaw mill I ever saw, the last board is 1 inch. So you can run it through the planer until you get it down to the thickness you need, or you can use it where you need a 1-inch board. And I actually do need a 1-inch board, so for in the utility room, because I've been boarding the wall in there with 1-inch boards, because I know I always get a 1-inch board left. So, or you can use it for a bench or whatever, I guess. But that's the downside to this. I can't saw below 1 inch on this mill. I mean, I've tried shimming things up, and you can do it, but it's just such a pain in the butt. It's really not worth it. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing with that. And real nice log, real nice black spruce log, some real nice stuff in it. A little bit wavy because of all the knots. That was a brand new blade I put on. Not a resharpened blade. That was a brand new blade. And there's a bit of rocks in the bark. And I think that normally, I'll get people say you get 1,000 board foot out of a brand new blade, but I don't know. Maybe if you're sawing popple or birch or oak saw is real easy, but not in this stuff. Not in pine and spruce and all that. Any trees like that I've sawed that are, you know, sappy and have this kind of bark. This bark, I mean, you can see the rocks in this bark right now. Like this here, this is mud. You know, this is mud where it was dragged. And and also when the tree is growing up through the dirt, the pine and the spruce collect a lot of rock in the bark. And so if you get 400 or 450 board feet out of one, you know, and that's generally sawn big square stuff, like not boards, you're doing real well. 215 is a little low. It's a little disappointing, and I could saw with it using, you know, if I was cutting something else, I could use the blade. But if I want to do fine cutting on boards, that blade it's had it. It'll start to wave in this spruce with all the knots. In pine, it doesn't really do it as much. In oak, it doesn't do it at all. But there's so many knots in some of this board here, I could probably get away with it. But like, you know, see this one here with all the knots? It'll ride, the knots are so hard, it'll just ride it. You got to go so slow with a dull blade, it's almost not worth your effort. It's easier to just change the blade out, change the blade out, change the blade out, and just saw the damn thing. Anyway, that might not be somebody else's experience, but that's been my experience here in Eastern Canada with the wood that I saw. So anyway, that's it. That one's sawed. And I'll do a couple of videos as I process these, run them through the planer, lap them, paint them, and install them. Cheers.